Hello, my beautiful souls, and a happy new moon in Virgo. Virgo is the season of the harvest, and it is represented by the Virgin, which is all about maintaining innocence, looking at the world with fresh new eyes. But it's also about being of service, our daily habits. How do we show up for those around us? How do we take care of ourselves so that we can best take care of those around us? And for today's reading, our archetype is the magical child, which is so perfect for Virgo. It's seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. That to me is the epitome of Virgo energy. The shadow aspect of Virgo, which is the shadow aspect of the magical child, pessimism, depression, disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth, being nitpicky, not allowing things to just happen and believing in the magic of those beautiful things happening. And so our Ascended Masters card, to help us stay in the light energy, the elevated energy of the magical child, we have Krishna. We love Krishna. Find the blessings in your current situation. When we are put to a task that seems hard or difficult, it is easy to become pessimistic and depressed. But if we can find the blessing in this situation, if we can find the lesson in this situation, if we can find gratitude for the situation, we're able to see the potential for the beauty in all things. It's not easy. This is where the work truly comes in. How can we continually shift our perspective to stay in gratitude even when life is hard? And this is not about denying those negative feelings, because they have a lesson and a message for us, but it is about learning that lesson and message and elevating it so that we can have the best possible outcome even in the darkest of times. Again, this is not the easiest thing to do. It takes work, it is a practice, and it is a lifelong journey. Believe me, if you could have seen me on some of my darkest days, you'd be like, bitch, you got some more work to do. And you know what? You're right, I do. I try to practice what I preach, though. So, as we now move into the cards for the new moon, where we're going to look at what needs our focus, our attention, our career, how we can serve, and our health, I'm also incorporating the Moonology Messages Oracle deck that I just received. And I'm going a little crazy because I'm really excited, but I pulled a Moonology card for every tarot card. So let's see what comes up, knowing that we're working in the energy of the magical child, facilitated by the blessings of Krishna. And of course, what resonates with you, hold on to, and what doesn't, let go of. It is my intention that this message finds whoever needs to hear it most. And so first, we're going to look at what needs our focus and attention right now. And first, we have the Four of Coins reversed, supported by reach for the moon and go for it. And I find this to be a really interesting duality of imagery, right? We have the Four of Coins where he's holding tightly to those coins. He doesn't want to let go. And then we have the reach for the moon where it's about releasing. So we have the Four of Coins as reversed though, right? The tendency is to want to hold on to things, especially in our physical environment. So I feel like with the Pentacle energy the earth energy, it's time to really pay attention to our physical environment and what can we let go of? What are we holding on to tightly? And we have the support of the moon to go for it. Here is the support to finally release some of the things that we've been holding on to. And this is really beautiful because this new moon, while new moons are all about planting seeds of intention and manifestation, this particular new moon is also about releasing things that are going to get in the way of that manifestation. Usually that's all the full moon's job, right? But we have a really pivotal opportunity in Virgo as we're collecting our harvest and we're sorting through our harvest. As I kind of got that analogy for someone I was listening to earlier, not everything is meant to be harvested. What is going to get in the way? One bad apple can ruin the bunch. So letting go to get the best results from the harvest that we're attempting to harvest, to be redundant. But we got to take action. You got to do the work. You got to let go. And I feel like there's a call to really clean out the physical environment in this way. And so how can we improve our career? How can we improve our money-making abilities? Well, we have the 9 of Wands, and we have the ring around the moon of protection. And this is telling us that we are protected, that what we're here to do has divine guidance. And so, we've been doing a lot of work, especially with all of these retrogrades that have been happening, really stopping to look and assess what's been working, figuring out what needs to catch up, what needs to release. We have the 9 of Wands. We're almost to the end of this cycle. So all the things that we've been working on, they're about to really come to a head here, right? The 9 is nearing the end of the cycle. We're coming to it's about coming to fruition. And now we've got the protection from the energy of the moon for the highest of intentions to come through. So as we're clearing out our physical space, we're also energetically clearing the way for new opportunity and remembering that we are protected by the heavenly beings that surround us. And however you choose to communicate with them or view them as angels or guides or other gods from other religions. So how can I improve my health? Well, we have the 4 of Cups. And this is all about shifting perspective, right? And I feel like Krishna and our magical child are really talking to us about shifting our perspective. Looking at things in the healthiest way means looking at things in the most positive way, right? What we focus on is what we draw in. And so if you're not really feeling healthy, where do you need to maybe shift your perspective? And this, the cups are all about the emotions. So where do we need to maybe get into more alignment with how we're feeling, and how can we shift the perspective around what we're feeling? And again, this comes down to some really deep work. It's not about ignoring those negative feelings. It's about honoring them, learning the message from them so that we can make the most of them. And release it to a higher energy. And the moon card for this is the Moonstruck. Take a breath. Slow down. Like she's, kind of dancing, just enjoying the moment. Instead of running. And the same way we have the 4 of Cups here, like sitting and thinking. We have this person kind of she looks like she's in a meditative state, just really reflecting, being present, and getting really clear on how we're feeling and trying to celebrate whatever feelings come our way. And it might sound counterintuitive to celebrate negative feelings, but when we experience negative feelings, it's to show us where we're out of alignment in our life. And if we can take a moment and get clear and shift our perspective to understand what that alignment can look like, then we can start to really mutate that negative energy into something meaningful and positive. And how can I best serve others at this time? Well, yes, let's start deck. We have the Seven of Cups, and this came up for me in my own personal reading when I did that earlier today. So I had a moment. How can I best serve at this time? We have the Seven of Cups. There's lots of options. And the Moon card that came up was the Moon circles of support. So I feel like, how can I best serve at this time? It's about networking. This is about going out there and talking to people, finding people to connect with, right? People need people to survive. And we have to serve ourselves before we can serve others. And the best way to serve others at times is to work with other people. So I feel like this is showing us there's lots of options. We just got to get out there and connect and network. How can I bring a greater sense of order to my life? Well, we have the Four of Wands, so showing some celebration here, right? The Four of Wands, it's typically in the Rider-Waite deck shows like a little family underneath celebrating. So how can we bring greater sense of order to our life? Maybe like, you know, going back to the four. So this is interesting. We have the Four of Coins reversed, and now we have the Four of Wands upright. Let's look to the Moon card. This one's kind of making me work for it a little bit. Greater sense of order to my life. Well, Moon maybe. Intuition. This is about like really tuning out the world around us. Sometimes the world can be really hectic and really chaotic, especially, you know, if doing networking, we're going out and meeting new people. But if we can get really quiet and go within and get centered and grounded and get in tune with ourselves first, then we can make the most sense of what's going on around us when we come from that space of quietness and stillness, and bringing some joy to the table, coming from a place of joy. Again, it's all about shifting perspective. It's not about dishonoring the feelings that come up. It's letting go of attachment to those feelings and shifting perspective around them. So again, we can learn the message from those negative feelings. And what is my highest intention for my self-mastery? Well, these cards together speak volumes. We have Moon memories and we have Judgment. And Judgment is about being tested. How committed are we to our goals? And the Moon memories, the past, what are we holding on to that's getting in the way of us moving forward? The highest intention for self-mastery should be to not let the past get in the way, but to learn from our past, create detachment around the memories. Someone gave me the line that, what was it? I'm not going to say it. Did I write it down? Let me see. I think I wrote it down because it was really profound. It was like wisdom. Oh, I didn't write it down. Wisdom comes from memories without emotion. I'm not getting it quite right, but it's the idea that when we have an emotional reaction to our memories, we're constantly living in them. But if we can release the emotional reaction from those memories and look back on them without the emotional attachment, that's where we gain true wisdom. And I feel like that's what this card combination, self-mastery, is about looking back on that past self and the lessons that we've learned and helping us move forward, having living the highest expression of the self comes from self-mastery. And this is where it's about, judgment traditionally represents like the judging of souls before they're lifted to heaven, but it's not always so. It's not always just that perspective. It's about how committed are we to getting what we want, and letting go of the past is the truest way of showing commitment to what we want, because if we let go of the past, we're committed to the future. If we can let go of the past, it shows that we're committed to the future. And from that is where we'll get some order in our life. When we let go of the past, we can look back on it fondly, no matter if it was good or bad. We can understand the lessons that the past has to offer us to create wisdom to move forward and to deepen the knowing of the self, the intuition, the deeper knowing of the intuition. And the best way to do that is to find the blessings in our current situation. Again, it's not easy. It takes work. But it can be done with ease. And that's where networking and asking for support from others comes into play, right? When we're not feeling so great, it's best to share that with others. We're not in this alone. You just have to reach out and ask for support. Once we give voice to the things that we're holding on to, it's so much easier to let go of them. But if we're constantly ruminating on them over and over, we're continually giving them power. But if we can give voice to them, we can release it. We're transmuting the vibration of it by creating a physical vibration through sound. So that's really powerful energy for this new moon. And I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a challenge to put together all of these cards, but I think it was a challenge worth taking. Right, we're in the season of the harvest. It is hard work, but it can be done with ease once we listen to ourselves. And if we can focus on our physical environment, what we need to let go of, what do we need to release, and make room for this new energy to come in, so that the manifestations that we are creating, the intentions we're creating, have a clear space to take hold and take root in and grow, so that we can make the most of that. And there's a lot of fire energy here. It's all about creativity and connecting with spirit, getting clear on our emotional state. So yeah, some really beautiful energy. And if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find my information in the description down below, how to connect with me. Every Monday I go live on Facebook and do a community reading where I'll pull cards for people individually. This week was a lot of fun because I used my Moonology deck for people instead of tarot cards. But Typically, I just pull tarot cards for people, but I like to play. And now that I have these new decks to play with, the next deck I'm working on learning is the Tree of Life Oracle. It's based on the Kabbalah. I'm really excited about that. And again, people need people to survive. So if there is something you are going through and you need support, find those around you who are offering you support that maybe you haven't been listening to, right? Shift your perspective. It's easy to say I'm all alone when we're not looking at the people who are around us. And if you truly are alone, go out and find somebody, network. You can reach out to me. This is what I am here for. I am here to help people on their path of healing so that they can grow and thrive and live the best possible life that they're meant to live. Not to say you won't have its ups and downs, but that is life. It's not worth having if it's not difficult, but we can still do it with ease. Namaste, my friends.